This video is going to serve as a part 3 of Passport Bros Want Equality, which makes it a trilogy. You know, I did 2 videos about the Passport Bros roughly about 8 weeks ago, 7 or 8 weeks ago. And today I decided to do a part 3 because there's still talk about these men deciding to pursue interest in women overseas. And the talk is still going on amongst women, which I understand that. I get that. I get why these women are going on social media platforms talking about the Passport Bros. I get where they're coming from. Well, I don't get where they're coming from, but I see why they're doing it. But my main issue, which I'm going to talk about in this video, is why you have men, mainly in the Manosphere, still talking about the Passport Bros. Now, there's been, in the past week, there's been a couple of videos created by YouTube creators, content creators, who call themselves trying to slick diss these men. Now, before I move on, I'm just going to say that I'm not here to take up for the Passport Bros. But at the same time, I don't disagree of what they're doing. You know, I'm trying to be fair and balanced. Okay, so again, as this video makes it a third video, and I know the previous 2 videos sounds like I'm taking up for the Passport Bros. I'm taking up for them, but at the same time, I'm not trying to put myself out there to be as if I'm a Passport Bro. That's not what I'm trying to do. So I don't even want to come to my comment section saying that you must be a Passport Bro because you seem like you're taking up for them. No, that's not the case. The thing is, what it is I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to get people to understand why these men are doing what they're doing. But to get back to the story, as I'm watching these content creators, they're slick dissing these Passport Bros. And when they're slick dissing them, they're mainly dissing them because of the fact that they're going overseas due to sexual desires. And that's it. They're pushing that joke, that mockery, as if that's the only reason why these men are spending money to get passports and spend money to go fly and go spending money to spend time at these hotels overseas just to sleep with women. And I'm like, this is insane. It's insane and it's mind-boggling. Because I'm trying to figure out, and this is a question for the man in the Manosphere. What is your objective on creating that sector of YouTube? Because I thought that when you have create this type of content, this content has been created to help men make better decisions. Make better decisions on economics. Make better decisions on career growth. Make better decisions on relationships. Make better decisions on investments. I thought that was the full intent of the Manosphere. But then I also noticed that y'all spend more time talking about relationships than anything else. And it's getting to a point to where in which you're talking about relationships so much that you're talking about the same group of people that you talk about. You're starting to sound just like them. And that's the women. Because as I sit back and I listen and I'm watching some of these videos, man, you have these men who are saying, you know, they're saying how they're making books about how to develop game, how to talk to women, how to get some swag. And what I need is I really need the passport bros to follow pursuit in my teachings, because these men going overseas trying to get sex from women is lame. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you worrying about where another man places his private parts in? Why are you worrying about that? Why is it that when women go overseas and they meet someone, y'all don't have a problem with that? Why is it that when men from other races go overseas and meet someone, you don't have a problem with that? But for some strange reason, when black men are doing the same thing, it bothers you. And you're a man, and it bothers you. It bothers you that it bothers you of how another man is making decisions on where to find or where to seek relationships. That bothers you. And again, you're a man that's thinking like this. You make these guys seem like they're weak because they can't stay in the United States and they can't get American women. And at the same time, I find it hypocritical, because at the same time, you content creators have been pushing content that has manipulated men to believe that there's no hope on obtaining good relationships with these Americanized women. Y'all have been pushing that content. I mean, when I listen to y'all speak on relationships, I'm thinking to myself, like, why is this issue so damn critical? I mean, I'm listening to y'all talk and I'm like, damn, man, like, y'all treat this as if you have to go to college and learn this. Y'all speak on it. Y'all speak on this topic as if it's a college course. I mean, y'all get so deep on the conversation, man. I'm like, dude, it's not that difficult to talk to women. I'm listening to these content creators. They make these videos and they have other men on their panels, and they're saying, you have folks calling in saying, my girlfriend did this and said this, and they move around like this, and you have the man sitting there saying, see, if she says that, you should have said this. Well, if she starts moving to the left and you're moving to the right, then you should have been doing this to get her to move to the left. Like, dude, like, everything's so goddamn like calculated. And I'm like, my God, man. I'm like, is relationships that hard? Like, you'll have somebody call in and they'll be like, me and my girlfriend went to the store and, she wanted me to buy her something and it only cost like $10. But I found something else that was similar to what she wanted and it cost $5. So I told her to get that instead. But then she got mad. Oh, you know what you should have did? You know what you should have did? You should have found something cheaper than the $5 one. Like, what? Like, y'all make this difficult. And I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, there's no wonder why you got a man buying passports trying to go overseas. Y'all make it sound difficult just to date a damn Americanized woman. It's not that deep. It's not that difficult. Game. You don't need no damn game. All you gotta do is be yourself. Talking about something you writing books on how man can get game, man. Please. All you have to do is be yourself, and if the woman don't like you for who you are, then you move on to the next. It's simple as that. Because by you telling a man that they need game, you pretty much tell a man to be something that they're not. And if you tell a man to be someone who they're not, they're not going to be able to get. They're not going to be able to continue that level of fakeness. And it's going to get to a point to where they're going to break and they're going to show their true side, and the woman's not going to handle it because why? Because she didn't view that man in a natural state before. And guess what? Their relationship is not going to work. So when you're sitting there telling someone they need to learn some game, you pretty much telling someone they need to be something that they're not. So stop with that. That's dumb. You know, when I look at these other races of man, they have these women, they're married to these women, they have happy families. You know, they're doing good for themselves. And then when you see them conversating with women within their culture, they're not talking deep. They're just not. They're not calculating their every movements. They're not trying to figure out what they should say and what they should not say at a certain moment in time. It's only in black relationships where we have to get that damn deep. And and again, when I sit back and I watch this content being pushed out, I start to go into deep thought, and I'm thinking to myself, is there a hidden agenda behind all this? Is there a hidden agenda behind this? Because if there is, I need someone to come out and just say it. Because I'm telling you, man, dealing with the problems of the black community is so much tied into it that it's confusing. And when you're trying to untangle everything, all you're gonna do is just you're going to get a headache because you're trying to figure out. I mean, everything that black people do, they make it so damn complex that it's mind-boggling. It becomes a headache. Because it's like, dude, if y'all gonna sit here and talk as if you have so much game, you know how to get women, you know what to say, you know how to move, you know how to operate, and you got another group of men that's leaving out because they can't do what you can do. Why are you complaining about that? Because the way I see it, that's better for you. Because why? Because you have more women within your reach. If you have men that are going overseas, there's more women here by themselves that you can get that's available to you. So why are you worrying about it? And then at the same time, you also have to put into consideration that you have a lot of these men, mainly in the black community, that have created this epidemic of single mothers. And because they have created this epidemic of single mothers, you have women out here that are trying to make it in this country with the economic conditions that they're in. And because of that, they're stressed out. They're stressed out, in which it gets to a point to where they need some assistance. And you will have these guys that are single who are willing to take these women in with their kids and start a relationship. In other words, create a blended family. They'll create a blended family, and these men will find themselves taking care of not only the woman, but they'll be taking care of kids from another man, mainly you guys in the Manosphere. And what's crazy is the fact that y'all create this content calling these type of men simps. You call them simps. And I'm like, this is strange, man, because I'm like, y'all will create content calling men simps for raising another man's kid. And I said this before, if they were not raising these man's kids, then society will be raising these man's kids, because these women will have to go to the state and get assistance. That assistance is coming from taxpayers. So if you don't have men raising these goddamn kids, you have society raising your damn kids. But then you want to sit here and push out this content clowning these men for doing so. And by proxy, you're clowning society for doing the same job that you're supposed to be doing. I know that sounds confusing to y'all. I know it does. And the reason why is because y'all just don't get it. You just don't get it. Now, you have these guys who they don't want to be called simps. So they go overseas. But now because they make that choice, now you're mocking them for that. And when I sit back and think about that spectrum, I gotta say to myself, like, what are y'all trying to do? Are y'all mad because these guys are leaving out and they're not willing to take care of your creation? And I'm talking about that family you created. Is that the real reason why? Is that the real reason why that you're clowning them for going overseas? Is that the reason why? You want to move around and get women pregnant, and then have them raise kids by themselves, so you can go to the next woman and get them pregnant, and then move on to the next. And there's somebody there that will come in and clean up what you created. Is that what you want? I told you, talking about black issues is very confusing. It really is. I sound confusing like just in this video. Like, on one end, you have the Manosphere, and they speak on black relationships, but they speak on it as if it's so goddamn complex. Every move is calculated. And then they push it so much to where you discourage people from even trying, to where they what they want to do is they want to be natural about it. They don't have to do all that. They don't have to do all that extra stuff. They don't want to do all that extra stuff. So what they do is they go out there and they get these passports and they move on, so they can find they can get into relationships that's a lot easier. But then you clown them for it. So you're like, what? So it's like what the hell? You make something that sounds difficult, but then when somebody walks away from it, you clown them. It's almost like as if you want them to stay here and struggle. But then at the same time, you have these men in the manosphere who have children. They have kids. They don't want to goddamn pay child support. And if they do pay child support, they complain about it. But if they don't pay child support and that woman happens to find another guy that's willing to come in and share his resources, y'all clown him for it. And then if he go and if she's out there and she's struggling and she has to go to the state, you start clowning her for going to the state. So it's almost like me looking back is like, what the hell are y'all trying to do? Like I'm telling you, man, like I'm trying to make myself clearer when I explain this stuff, and I can't even do it right now because again, the black community is so confusing. It is so confusing. I mean, you have a spectrum of, you have a platform. You have a platform, and in that platform, you have a spectrum called a Manosphere, and they speak on topics related to men. But then at the same time, they open the doors for women to walk in and create the same topic related to men. And y'all don't have a problem with that. I'm telling y'all, man, but it's called the Manosphere. Like bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling y'all right now that this spectrum on social media is not gonna last long. It's just not. It's not. It's not, and it never will. And the reason why is because y'all were not serious to begin with. You were not serious to begin with. Mm-hmm. Y'all are over here. You're grown men. You talk all this talk about being alpha males, but then at the same time, you're worried about what you're worried about what other men are sticking their private parts into. That's not alpha male. You worrying about what another man is sleeping with is not alpha. And you should know this, considering that you know so much about being alpha man. You should know this. Shit crazy to me. You call yourselves alpha males, and a lot of y'all have women that's walking around with your children, and you're not even taking care of them. But you're alpha man. You know a lot. You know a lot about being alpha males. Okay. You're alpha males, and a lot of these guys that you call passport bros, they probably have more women than you had in your lifetime. But you alpha man. Like, make that make sense. All of y'all are just a bunch of talk. I mean, it's crazy to me, man. I'm telling you, man, in the past week, it's like, dude, like, why are they still talking about the passport bros? Who cares? Let them have the same freedom that everybody else has. Why is it a problem that black men are going overseas to find somebody? And now y'all pushing out this content, in which you're making it seem like the only reason why they're going overseas is for sex. So you mean to tell me that every black man that has a passport is going overseas just for sex? That's it. That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me. You guys have created this content that have pushed these men to do what they do. And I'm going to say this again. Y'all have pushed this content in which you have made it seem difficult to date an Americanized woman, for number one. And for number two, from my perspective, it seems as if you want men to stay here so you can continue to ruin women's damn life, and these men are readily available to clean up your mess. Now, you can call me a simp when I say this. I don't give a damn. But me personally, I don't think it makes no damn sense that you bring kids into this world and yet you don't want to pay child support. That makes no fucking sense to me. Again, you can call me a simp all you want. I don't care. That makes no goddamn sense. You have a woman that's literally struggling to help to work to take care of that kid. And you know this, but you rather keep your money in your pocket than help financially to support that child. But you don't mind other men having to do it. And if they don't do it, you don't mind watching the same woman who happens to be the mother of your child go to the state and ask for help. And just like I said at the beginning of this video, when they go to the state asking for help, they're actually going to the taxpayers. When that state gives them these food stamps and this subsidized housing and whatever the case may be, they're not just giving it to them for free. That stuff is being paid for by taxpayers. So if it's not another man taking care of your kid, it's taxpayers taking care of your kid. And you call yourself an alpha male. But you want these men that stay in this country so they can either struggle on having a relationship with these women, or if they are in a relationship, they're pretty much cleaning up your mess. Because even if you don't have children by these women, you still fucked up these women somehow, some way. And I'm not saying all of them, but there's some of these women where you fucked them up. You sat there and you got into a relationship with them, and you probably used them for something that they, for resources that they have that you don't have. Because, I make videos talking about how women get with men based on their resources, but I gotta be fair. It's 2023. A lot of these women got more resources that men can gain from. So a lot of y'all talk this alpha shit, but y'all be the same ones dating these women, using them, abusing them, and then you taking off. And now you want to go on social media and act as if you have some goddamn sense when it comes to accountability in relationships. And then you start dogging these men out because they going overseas. But what you want is you want them to stay down here in this country and take care of and clean up the problems that you created.